Ladies and gentlemen, we are live.
It's Wednesday, 9 o'clock.
Casewalker Chronicles.
The particulars. We're going to get to it. So before we get into it, everything you hear from us tonight is our opinion and our analysis based on the public record. It is not legal advice. And where a case is still working its way through the system, as pretty much all of the cases that we talk about for the most part are, that means that the presumption of innocence is going to apply until obviously it gets through to court and you get that trial. If it goes to trial, that determines that. Most of the time, we'll be willing to talk about that with you. So, but one more thing, every time we do this, everything you're about to hear was fact checked and verified as of 5:30 p.m. Eastern time this afternoon. So if something has changed since that cutoff, we didn't know about it, or it wasn't built into tonight's show, that's not us getting it wrong. That's just how live news works. And moving forward, if there's an update, we'll bring it to you the next time. So for tonight, that would be Friday. I spent a lot of time today trying to catch up on some of those updates and push those out as fast as I could. So if there's something, I try to think, okay, close the business for us. I was like, that's hopefully nothing pops between now and, but it is what it is. I digress. So, Tag, you're it.
I'm it.
You were scrolling too far. You weren't paying attention.
We are going to talk about how the law actually works tonight. We have the Vinton County case, and we are talking about some new Kentucky gun laws and how they differentiate from some of the Indiana laws that we have in the state.
We teased a little about that on Monday night's episode. So, and I'm going to get this wrong because you talked about it Monday, and we already discussed that my knowledge in sports is very limited. So I'm going to apologize.
Oh, gosh.
In advance. But I'm going to try, okay? So
Zaire.
Is that how you say it?
Zaire.
Zaire? Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I was right. Okay, so quick note before we move on. Zaire Wade's arraignment is actually still ahead of us, not behind us. That's set for tomorrow, Thursday, July 16th in Pasadena. Here's what's already on the record. The LA County District Attorney's Office filed a felony complaint on July 9th, charging him with felony corporal injury to a, why does that look so weird, cohabitant. That's a very awkward word, cohabitant. I don't know that I've ever said that word. Sorry. That's one felony count down from the 3 allegations at the time of his initial arrest. Plus sentencing enhancement allegations are attached. So there's nothing new to report on the arraignment outcome yet. We'll bring you that Friday as planned if that progresses how hopefully it does.
And then following up on Monday, Nolan Wells, as of tonight, still no cause or manner of death publicly released. Toxicology and the independent autopsy results remain pending. What is new, his family and their attorneys met with Jackson County District Attorney Angel Myers. What is that? McIlrath? That's got to be, McIlrath. Yes.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
It's got to be
It's
Irish.
Probably wrong. We're probably saying it
Angel
wrong.
Myers McIlrath. This morning, the DA's office says once the sheriff's investigation is complete, the case will go before a grand jury, which her office notes is standard procedure and unnatural.
For unnatural. Details matter.
I know. It's standard procedure for unnatural and suspicious deaths, or suspicious deaths, not an indication of criminality on its own.
Correct. And I do have something else exciting.
Oh, yeah?
For tonight's episode.
Oh, Lord.
Okay. So for tonight's episode,
This is where you're going out of order?
I'm following the order. I'm following the order. I'm just telling you, tonight's episode is going to look a little bit different. First of all, you should know that I completely changed the formatting.
I see that.
You like that?
That's much easier to read.
Thank you. I worked hard on that. Second of all, with that, I added a few little extra little segments in, so to speak, mixed in. I'm going to see if you can catch them.
It's funny because I scrolled past them immediately.
I cannot with you. Like, I put those in there for whatever.
No, I love you.
No, I don't know. All right, so.
What? You want to talk about the flock cameras again?
No, you skipped over.
I didn't skip anything.
What page are you on?
Right here.
Okay. Well, yours is different colors than mine.
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to give you a brief 30-second Peterson tease. What I will also say is that Nick and Alex went fishing last night.
Yes.
So they left me with the dog.
She's fine.
And I will tell you that I was on Nick's Live last night and I made the comment to him. I said, guess what? I have a surprise.
Oh my gosh.
By that point in the evening, I had already sourced and pulled and went through, what did I say? 1,500 Peterson documents?
1,566 court documents. Pages of court documents.
Correct. I went to bed about 4 o'clock this morning. So I say all that to say.
That's okay. I got home and went to bed at about 6 a.m. So good old fishing trip with the sun.
I just think Friday's episode's going to be long. And I think I even put that on the graphic that
oh gosh.
If you are coming in for Friday night, it may be lengthy.
Yeah. Well, tonight's going to be a good one. And that 30 seconds turned into 2 minutes.
Anyways.
All right.
The whole point of that was to say Friday we're putting the documentary up against the actual court ruling. A judge already rejected this exact new evidence back in April. And if you remember, we talked about that Monday night. And we'll show you the ruling itself. I mean, I'm not going to show you because I actually pulled all that. And if you want to have a good Friday night, you can pull all those documents and look through them. But I don't have a website or anything like that yet for the particulars. It's all kind of just mushed together with the Casewalker Chronicles. So not taking on more. Sorry.
State of Kentucky. We were talking about flock cameras last week. If you want, you can go back to YouTube. We have a recording from those episodes, episode 1.
Yes.
We talked about flock cameras and Fourth Amendment concerns. It's funny because Newport, Kentucky, which is just across the river from Cincinnati, we've been there numerous times, they pulled the plug on a pilot program for flock cameras this week. So there is local government that's getting involved with the issue regarding the Fourth Amendment.
Have you noticed anything on any of your social medias since Monday night's episode?
Yeah, every time we talk about it, it starts pushing it to us. Now, granted, we look up this information and things like that, and we know algorithms just
I was just like scrolling today, and it was just like all of this. And then there was actually somebody that is doing like an advocacy type thing for Indiana. And I found, like, I stumbled upon that. I don't follow them or anything like that, but I was like, wow, my timeline is full of flock camera stuff coming up. So it'll be interesting to see how much that continues to, surface. Because I feel like it's not just a local thing. I feel like across the nation, there's starting to be some talk. Yeah,
flock is going to be an issue for a while. If you've just tuned in and scrolled into the live, if you don't,
Kate, Casey, Emily, Diva, thank you.
If you don't want to get us by accident next time, tap the live icon, go to our TikTok profile, go and register. Register for a reminder. TikTok will actually notify you when we go live. We get so many people who say, "Oh,
I didn't know.
It didn't give me, I was busy."
Well, mine most of the time I don't get a lot of the notifications. I don't even get that like you're live.
Right.
So I don't know.
I don't even get that she's live when she goes on her channel. So it's sometimes, and we have those notifications checked, so we know how it is. And plus, people get busy. It's 9 o'clock. People are winding down for the evening, and you're trying to do this, do that before bed. We get it. But hit that notification, and that way you won't miss us in the beginning next time. That's fine. And from that, we are also live on YouTube. You can like, follow, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that you get notified next time we go live.
Yes. So
we're going to move on to segment 2, right?
Did someone just die upstairs?
I didn't hear it. I've got headphones on. I can't hear anything. It's our son up there.
Okay, hopefully all's okay. He'll come down or holler. So, sorry. Anyways,
the first segment. That was the bridge. We're in the first segment now.
Struggle bus.
Yeah, I know.
So Monday, a few of you asked some really great questions in the chat about how state, federal, and county law actually fit together. So tonight, we're going to kind of circle back to that And we're going to answer that in a more, I don't want to say legal, but like a more precise way.
Yeah.
Instead of just kind of us pulling stuff out of alive in the middle of our night brain. So we're going to kind of get that in. And you already talked about that. So we're going to go right into it. And this one, I'm going to try to defer a lot of it to you because I feel like some of it you do a lot better. But there are actually only 2 true lawmaking levels in our system, which is the state and federal. Now, counties and cities don't independently write criminal law the way a state legislature does. County and local government mostly operate through ordinances, business licensing, and code enforcement. That's infraction and violation level, not felony.
Right.
And we touched a little bit of that on Monday. So this is where I wanted Nick to kind of break down how that works in practice.
So the felonies fall into 2 categories or tracks, if you will. State felonies get prosecuted under the state's own penal code. Whether it be like Ohio Revised Code, Indiana Code, whatever state you're in. Federal felonies get prosecuted under U.S. Code, which is totally different. And that applies when conduct crosses state lines, involves federal jurisdiction like federal land or federal agencies, or falls under a specific federal statute.
Right.
Certain crimes against children, for instance, can trigger FBI involvement depending on the facts. Counties enforce law through sheriff's offices and prosecutors, but they're enforcing state code. They're not writing their own criminal law. What counties and cities can pass on their own are ordinances such as noise regulations, business licenses, traffic infractions, civil and infraction level, not felony level. So the question was asked by Maddie
Madbark.
Right.
But
last
Maddie and
episode.
Madbark are 2 different people.
I know, but I think her name's Maddie, though. I think that's what she said.
Oh, okay. Well, I just
Maybe.
I don't know. I just wanted to clarify that. Thought you might have confusion for a minute.
She had a great question last episode about the county level versus state level.
Yeah, because she asked if there were I think I don't want to, quote that specific question, but it was basically do counties have their own law?
Right.
And we kind of actually, when I was putting this in, I thought, well, we did actually very well with addressing that, I thought, because I was listening to the live as I was.
It comes with our background and our knowledge.
But I thought, well, again, we could revisit it because it's a good way to
reassure.
Right. And I was like,
up.
I wanted to make sure that we got everything and it was addressed in a clean way.
Yeah,
so.
just like I described last episode about Grand Forks Air Force Base when we were stationed there, and I was a federal agent on that base assigned to it. We had those different jurisdictions where there was federal exclusive jurisdiction on the flight line versus the county jurisdiction, which was Grand Forks County of North Dakota. And then there was Grand Forks City, which was, we were 15 miles away from, but their city limits had their own Grand Forks PD. Then you had Grand Forks County, and then you had our division, which covered the exclusive jurisdiction.
Right.
And then you also had North Dakota State Police that had their...
That's kind of like down in Georgia.
Yeah.
GBI.
Well, they have GBI, right. And they have state troopers. Just like California has a state highway patrol. And
there's something
also
to Texas. There's something in Texas, too. What do
Rangers.
The Rangers.
Yep.
It's quite like... That's, I think, one of the hardest things about... and we were discussing that because we were talking about the Wells case.
It's like, why is it different state to state,
Because states have to have their independence.
They have their regulatory ability
separate from
their
total
state government. Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
That is why.
Because that's why we have separation with states and national and federal.
Right. So, and again, if you want to hear more about that in regard to the jurisdiction and more of how we really went into kind of a breakdown on that, that was Monday night's episode, which was episode 4.
Mm-hmm.
So that is a replay on YouTube. You can catch that. I honestly think we've covered a lot in each episode. So if you've missed any of them, they all are on YouTube.
Yep.
Or
our
replay.
YouTube channel.
Yep.
The Casewalker Chronicles. Go to our our videos there, and then we also have a live section where we've started live streaming, and you can watch the recorded lives there.
We will be cleaning up YouTube. It's a little muddy right now, just because of the way everything's populating,
thrown together right now.
But it will get cleaner, I promise. So, but there's tons for you to watch on there if you are bored. So I guess now, without further ado, we'll go into the meat and potatoes of tonight's case.
Oh, this is wild. This is wild. This is getting so much publicity right now.
It is. It's getting a lot, and I went down quite.
So, Amy, episode 4 should be on the live tab of our.
Did you miss Mondays?
Chronicle page. No, I think she was there. She just wanted to replay it because she loves us so much.
I know. Sweet.
But you should be able to go to the live tab, and it should be there as a live.
Here's part of the thing, and I say we've talked about this in every episode because it's continuously an issue. We're having an issue with the live comes through great. YouTube's part is great, but it's like the connection, even with OBS, is like not.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. For some reason, it processes forever, and it's a very lengthy. So we're gonna.
Well, the thing of it is, it has to go through.
Yeah, all the checks. It has a lot of different checks that it has to do.
Yes, it has to check and see if you have copyright music or copyright content, all this kind of stuff, and make sure it's not inappropriate.
Well, I will say, like I said, I was going to work on the YouTube channel today, but I was doing record stuff for this case and then also Peterson for Friday. So I spent a good amount of time doing records. So I didn't actually work in YouTube today. It's coming. I'm going to get it cleaned up. It's a process, but it'll be up. If it's not, I think you can catch the live on there. There's a live tab, I think.
Yeah.
And so you can do that too. But let's get into it. This case, it's a case out of Hamden, Ohio in Vinton County. And it's been all over the news. And we're going to try to get past the shock value because I know we had so many when we teased about it Monday.
Yeah.
There was a lot of questions.
Everybody knows about this by now.
So we're going to walk through what's in the record. And this time we're not working from the news reports. So we pulled the actual court dockets for all 4 defendants directly from Vinton County Common Pleas Court. So on June 30th, 2026, investigators executed a search warrant at a home in Hamden and found 16 children ranging in age from 18 months to 18 years living in what officials described as severely unsafe conditions. Several were hospitalized. 2 were airlifted to trauma centers. 4 adults were arrested and charged. And here's the exact roster straight from the docket. So Gary Siders, Sr., he is 73. He's a grandfather. He's represented by Dorian Keith, and I think we pronounce him Baum.
Yeah, Baum.
So that is his attorney from Lancaster, Ohio. And then you also have Christina Siders, 67. That's the grandmother, represented by Kendra Roberts, Columbus, Ohio. And then you have Gary Siders II, who is 36. That's the father, represented by R. Lee Roberts Jr. from Columbus, Ohio. And then Elizabeth Siders, who is 33, the mother, represented by J. Thomas Stoley, Zanesville, Ohio. And note for the audience, 2 of these attorneys share the same surname Roberts. Kendra Roberts and R. Lee Roberts Jr. are not the same person, not the same firm, and they represent 2 different defendants. So worth that, keeping that in mind as you...
Yeah, I would have made that
because that's going to be a little confusing, I think, as this case continues to be in headlines.
Yeah,
so.
Each of the 4 defendants is charged with 16 separate counts of endangering children. 1 count per child confirmed directly off each warrant request. The exact statutory citation is Ohio Revised Code 2919.22B1, the underlying endangered children provision, paired with 2919.22E2D. That second subsection is what elevates the charge to a second-degree felony. All 4 defendants were arraigned on July 1st and pled not guilty. Bond was set at $100,000 cash or surety for each defendant at arraignment. Gary Siders Sr.'s bond has since been modified to a recognizance bond for medical reasons. We'll get to that in a minute. The other three remain at $300,000. And on sentencing exposure, if convicted, each count carries an indefinite prison sentence. This is going to be nuts. A minimum the judge selects from 2 to 8 years, with a maximum at 50% longer than whatever minimum is chosen.
That's per count.
Per count at 16 counts each. That's insane. This is going to be, like, right now, I think it's kind of out there and people are seeing it. This is going to be a Netflix documentary. This is going to be, I hate to say that, because that's what, this is going to get glamorized to the point where it's like,
but
a Dahmer.
So
I'm serious.
You're going to catch throughout this whole thing. I've added a lot in here, and you will notice I say that we are very much trying to be in with this, but so much of this, like you've already caught, we pulled from the actual docket, and we're going to try to, cite it to the best of our ability when we are relaying that. So you will catch us looking at the screen quite a bit because there's a lot of specifics.
Let's just say it's not actually very often that this happens
on this magnitude is what I'm going to say.
And this early in a case where the judge signs an order.
We haven't even got to that.
I know, I'm teasing it.
Don't go there yet.
You're
all right.
The judge signs an order that is, honestly, no one hears about this, but it's just wild. Just wait.
So go ahead, and because this is a standalone episode, right? So we don't technically claim any. Okay, so
we're gonna be continuing this.
Well, right,
case,
but so like
sure.
our podcast that we actually have on like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, things like that. That was built with a season arc. So in theory, you should start at episode 1 and work all the way through. When you finish with the final episode, there's a underlying, so to speak, theme or idea that's kind of built in, or a pattern that emerges across all of those episodes. This, our Monday, Wednesday, Friday live streams are standalone. So they don't really build off of each other, other than we kind of try to. So if we talked about something Monday, we may follow up on it or something like that. But you don't have to watch or listen to all of them. You should be able to pick up one and know right off what's happening. Yeah. So all of that to say, we did kind of talk about the law in terms of jurisdiction. And briefly at the beginning of this episode, we also talked about how there were different laws, and we touched briefly on felony degree. That just ranks how serious the charge is under that state's code. So second degree here means it's serious, but not the most severe. And cash or surety means it's a bond. The defendant can pay the full amount in cash directly or pay a bail bondsman a smaller non-refundable fee to post it on their behalf.
Yeah.
Either way, the full $300,000 is what's guaranteed to the court. That is one of the finer, trickier parts of the court system. I guess it's kind of glossed over in a lot of things.
I mean, people know about it, but people don't really know what the purpose of it is as far as bonds.
Right. So we may end up talking more about that.
Yeah, that'll be good to talk about for another episode for sure.
So with that, we're going to walk through what's happened since arraignment. All of this is confirmed directly off the dockets. So July 7th, all 4 defense teams filed motions for discovery and motions for a bill of particulars. And all 4 waived their right to a preliminary hearing. Elizabeth Siders and Gary Siders II filed formal waivers July 7th and 8th. The bill of particulars it's basically the defense formally asking the state to spell out the specific facts behind the bare charge. So Elizabeth Sider's docket also shows a jury demand filed. That's what it says, right? Jury demand filed July 7th, July 8th. Gary Sider Sr.'s bond was modified and a competency evaluation was ordered, filed as a motion for an evaluation to determine NGRI and competency. So
that's the not guilty by reason of insanity.
Correct. So meaning it's asking two separate legal questions, whether he's competent to stand trial and separately whether an insanity defense may apply. That's ordered through the Forensic Diagnostics Center of District 9. On July 13th, Ohio Assistant Attorney General Kara Keating formally noticed her appearance as co-counsel on all four cases alongside County Prosecutor William Archer Jr., confirming the special prosecutor appointment applies across the board, not just to one of the defendants.
Right. Two more pieces of that straight off the docket. This is only in Gary Sider Sr.'s case.
That one, yes.
Yes.
So none of the other ones technically right now are doing the whole
right.
Competency thing.
Right.
That's
right.
not.
On July 10th, his attorney filed a motion asking the court to release.
And that was pretty much straight away.
Yeah. Release his jail and medical records directly to the evaluator and to the defense counsel. The court granted that July 13th.
Yes.
3 days later, which is pretty quick.
I was going to say, yeah.
That's quite quick.
Sometimes I think they're well.
Yeah, especially for motions.
Just keep going. I'm not going to interrupt.
And the actual evaluation order itself was signed July 9th. Requires the exam to happen in person, and the examiner's report has to come back to the court under seal within 30 days. One more thing worth knowing is that Ohio law tolls the speedy trial clock for the entire time a defendant's competency is being determined. So that could take a while, and the clock is still ticking. So this case's timeline is officially paused for Gary Sider Sr., specifically while that evaluation happens.
And here's today's development. Confirmed directly off the docket. On July 14th, R. Lee Roberts Jr., Gary Sider's second's attorney, filed a motion for a gag order along with a proposed order in his client's case specifically. The court granted it. It's important to be precise about the scope. This order applies to only Gary Sider to the second's case. That's really hard to say.
Yeah.
It bars officials, the Ohio Attorney General's office, the county prosecutor's office, the sheriff's office, the clerk of courts, defense counsel, from commenting publicly on the facts or merits of the case outside of actual court hearings. So as of tonight, the other three defendants' attorneys, my Faja is calling me. Sorry. So where was I? As of tonight, the other three defendants' attorneys have not filed similar motions. So technically, only one of the four cases currently carries this restriction. Another real example of what we mean when we say these are four separate prosecutions, not one. So that was a huge thing I wanted to touch on as well. In regard to the state, how this is being interpreted largely online is that it's one large case.
Yeah.
It's not. It's each individual adult in this situation.
Right. Everybody
is its own case.
The way it's being publicized is, it's the whole family, and it's a family enterprise that was doing this, and they're all involved. But the way it has to get processes in court is each one of these persons is an individual being, and therefore they each have their individual case.
Right. And they will, I think what you'll start to see slowly, it's where this is going to get tricky, I think, in regards to like news reporting and media and things like that. These cases will start to kind of separate in terms of how they move through the system. Their timelines are not going to be
No, they won't.
Not moving at the same.
They're not
yeah,
all being tried together.
And so I think I'm not giving you legal advice. It's just my opinion, my analysis. But what I kind of foresee happening with this is I think this is not going to be the first gag order that you see.
We didn't even say that yet.
I did say that. You weren't listening.
Anyways, that's the big thing about this already.
But now we're going to tell you why.
Yeah, the public gag order where
So-
no one involved in the case can talk to anyone about anything. You know, you hear about jurors being sequestered. When it
No,
goes to,
that's
when it
not
go-
what this one was.
No, I know that. I know
So
that.
you need to be more specific.
I know. No, but I say about when jurors are sequestered and they can't hear anything or talk about anything involving the case. This is way before that because we haven't even gone to trial yet. We're not even close to that.
No.
That's a part of a trial. This is a judge saying that, look, anyone involved in this right now cannot talk to anyone.
And there's a reason behind it.
That's what is wild, is you don't normally hear about that.
So, okay. So you've a gag order. Courts will issue a gag order. Okay.
Right.
So it basically is protecting the defendant's Sixth Amendment right to an impartial jury. It's not meant to hide information. Okay. A defense requested protection, not a prosecution cover up. So keep that in mind, that when we have talked about some things, I don't know if we've talked about it specifically. I know we touched base on, what prosecution and defense and how all of that moves through court. But in regard to this case, it was in order to ensure that, the defendants do receive a fair trial and, the case they can issue depending on different things.
Yes.
The main thing is based off of that Sixth Amendment. So they're wanting to ensure that, defendants' rights are not violated leading up to it.
Yes.
So, anyways, in this situation, this gag order means that the pipeline on this case may get harder moving forward. So, specifically with Gary Siders II. So, since I don't think you will see, I don't want to say they can't, they may give general press releases, but it's not going to be anything substantial or anything like that moving forward. So
you may not hear anything about this case moving forward unless it comes from a private source.
And I think also,
honestly,
I don't want to speak without getting this specifically, but I think also in terms of the docket, once that order has been granted, I think you can still access the orders, and it may be different depending on state to state. But I think so. A lot of times, so like Indiana has what we call Indiana My Case. So any case that's moving through civil or criminal court, you can usually access that. However, if there's anything with like juveniles, those documents are not available on there. And if there's a gag order in place, they usually withhold putting up the exhibits and things like that until the conclusion of the trial or the judge removes the gag.
They give a ruling. Yeah.
Right. So I think moving forward with this case, in terms of Gary Siders II, I think his case, you're going to see less and less being discussed.
Information.
Just because it's not going to be, there's probably going to be plenty put out there.
So
but
let's just say the plenty that's being put out there from sources that are not vetted, or even if they are vetted, just try to verify that information, because a lot of people are going to be trying to comment on this case. And unless it's information that's already been provided in the docket, it's probably just vet it, because they're not, a lot of this information isn't going to get out unless it's leaked. And yes, that does happen, but this one's going to be pretty under wraps. So we won't be talking a whole lot more about this unless...
So we touched a little bit on it, and I'm going to circle back, and I went back and forth with myself about this. And this is the only thing I'm going to say in regard to this case about information leaks, so to speak. Okay. So the motion itself, which is available on the docket, and you can read, but it points out that Vinton County's clerk of courts gave an interview describing the scene that was identified only as a volunteer firefighter, without mentioning that he's also the clerk who's going to be handling the filings of the case. So the defense had pointed to that when they submitted this motion.
Yeah.
So I think it was, and I don't think there was anything nefarious. Again, I don't know that person's intent, obviously, but I think if we look at a lot of the smaller towns and places, people might carry multiple positions. Yep. So I think it's fair to say that sometimes that overlap has, potentially the opportunity to create some gray area. Yeah. So I think that the judge in this case is like, okay, we're just going to go ahead and.
Yeah, right now, all 4 cases remain listed as undisposed as of tonight.
Yeah. So
confirmed directly on the docket.
Yeah.
That means it's still pre-indictment matter. Nothing has been formally presented to a grand jury yet. So all of those steps have to take place first. And,
so there's no dismissal, no plea deal, no verdict.
And according to the docket, undisposed is just a way of saying that it hasn't reached a final outcome.
Right.
There hasn't been an actual order by the judge. No dismissal, no plea deal, no verdict. And an indictment is a grand jury's formal decision that there's enough evidence and probable cause to move forward, and beyond reasonable suspicion that a crime had occurred to create the probable cause for an indictment. That's what a grand jury needs. And on that felony charge specifically.
I almost want to say sometimes that I think I wouldn't be surprised if it potentially goes to the grand jury just because they can seal things.
So here's the way a grand jury works. Okay, a prosecutor brings information to a grand jury, and
you can't go there.
No, I can. It's just hard to say because it doesn't make any sense to me. And I was part of this. I was in a federal agency that had the ability to do this. Prosecution works for a government agency. I know. I'm going to get heated about this. I'm sorry.
No.
A prosecution works for a government entity, whether it be county, state, local, federal, all of that. The thing is, a grand jury indictment, because there's felony charges on the line, the prosecution brings the information to a grand jury, and the grand jury decides to make a decision upon that. They don't get any information that refutes what the prosecution says, period. Now, it would be a bad idea for a prosecution to go to a grand jury with misinformation, because that's going to get brought up if there is an indictment listed and ordered. So it would be a bad idea. However, anyone can tell a story. And the way you tell a story, if it's not fact by fact, evidence by evidence, it's gonna get tripped up. And that's how these cases get tripped up in court, because the defense will pick apart every little thing that is found, said, believed, all of that. Now, this is just what happens in general. This is a known thing that happens. But going down that line...
You're going down a rabbit hole.
No, I just want to talk about because with grand juries, a lot of people don't understand grand juries, and that could be an episode all by itself.
I was going to say, honestly. So let's not go too deep in the woods down here, because we got plenty more to go into.
I know. Because of the level of felony that it is, the grand jury indictment would be a formal decision that it would go to the next stage. At this point, it's undisposed, and that's what I wanted to explain, is that undisposed means that none of that has happened yet.
Correct. I think you just made a lot of people confused.
No, I just wanted to educate them a little bit about grand jury, because not everybody knows.
Maybe we'll find a case that...
Because people think grand jury, and it's like, I really don't know what that means.
Because I don't think people understand that you have like your superior court, you have your district, your superior, they don't have that. And I don't have we need to make a whiteboard, and we can like give a lesson on how the system is. But anyways, I digress. We're not going to go there.
No.
Maybe one day we will talk about grand juries, but not today, because it technically doesn't apply.
We have a lot to get through. Sorry.
all of that to say, Nick got off on a tangent. Just keep that tucked away for later, okay? And before we move on, we're going to address something directly. So Monday night, a lot of you were asking questions and very similar types of questions in the chat. So how does something like this happen? How does nobody know? Why wouldn't the kids say something? And those are all fair questions. And I sat with this. So when I went to bed Monday night, and then last night when I was here, I was going through, because I knew I was going to cover this case, and I wanted, those questions were just like sitting there. And I think they deserve an answer. And so I thought in my head, how can I present this in a way? Because again, this is our analysis. This is our opinion. It's not legal advice. It's not expert witness level. And one day we're going to cover the different types of witnesses. But anyways, what I'm saying and what I'm going to give you is somebody who has spent a lot of time deep in psychology research, because it's literally like my favorite thing ever. So with that, we're going to be really precise about this, okay? And this is what really matters. This, what I'm going to tell you, does not necessarily mean that has anything to do with this family, okay? Because I want to talk about a few things that help. And actually, we were eating dinner just a little bit ago, and there was a TikTok video that I showed Nick. And when we were looking at it, it ties right back into this same thing that I'm getting ready to talk about. So
yeah, it was interesting.
It's relevant in a lot of cases. I'm not saying it's this case, and there's nothing that points to that. It just is a way for the listener. And Amy, that's we're going to go right into it. We're going to go right into it. Okay. So I'm not diagnosing. We're not doing any of that. We're just discussing some of the things so that could help people understand what's possible. Okay. So we don't know the internal dynamics of this specific household, and I'm not going to pretend to know, because I don't even, all I know is what I've seen in the court documents, and that's orders and motions and filings and things like that.
Right.
There, you don't see
what you heard from family members.
Yeah. And I'm not there, so I can't speak to that specifically. So, it's not something that we can diagnose from a distance, obviously. But the questions you're asking, how does the isolation like that happen? Why didn't the kid situation, why didn't they ask for help? Those are things that researchers have studied for decades and across so many different cases. So we're going to separate it. It's not the Siders family. It's just a way, when you think about things, you could think in your head, oh, maybe that's a way to explain that. I'm not saying. Hopefully that makes sense. Full disclaimer. So one of the concepts is called normalization, and Amy kind of hit on that a little bit. So this actually comes out of a disability services research originally. So a psychologist named
Good luck.
Bankneri, I don't know, sorry. He wrote about it in the journal Rehabilitation Psychology. This was back in the 70s, okay? So, but the core idea has been applied more broadly. So if a person, including a child, grows up inside a specific environment, that environment is simply what normal looks like to that child.
Right.
Okay? They don't have an outside reference point. And Nick and I have talked about this in extensive detail in a lot of different ways, because normalization plays a part in so many things, because you don't know that something is wrong if you don't know it's wrong.
If you haven't experienced.
Right.
Yeah.
And if in your, so say, and I'm going to break this apart from, let's just say, a completely unrelated family, because I don't really know anybody. I'm not giving specifics. But say you have some family that this is the only way they function. Mm-hmm. That child functioning, every person in that family, and we're talking immediate and extended, if they all operate in that same way, they might not know that that's different until, say, they have a sleepover at someone's house and that family does something totally different. Right. So normalization plays into that, okay? That's one way to help explain some of this, that you don't know it's different because you are not socialized with other differing types of... Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. The easiest way to explain it, honestly, is you raise your children in a way that is completely different than your neighbor does.
I mean, I think there's some standardized norms, but I'm just saying.
Obviously, but
Without that
if you-
outside reference point, it's hard for them to understand that theirs is different.
Yeah. So here's one thing. When I met a friend, I still remember this. I won't say his name out there, but
Lost my date. I've lost my marbles.
oh no.
Oh, God.
But just a simplified version of this is I'd stay over at his house. No, I'd stay over at his house
I
and
dropped it.
they would eat breakfast. My family really sometimes did, but
It's a very, never mind. Keep going.
no, I'm just saying that, I stayed over at
You're
his
right,
house
you're right.
and
I'm just saying.
like they would have breakfast and we would occasionally have breakfast, yes. But every single one of in the family had a glass of milk. Like there was a glass of milk on the table for
They all sat down?
everybody at the table, yes. And
They all had a glass of milk?
every one of them had a glass of milk.
I don't even eat breakfast.
So
very rarely.
my and I wasn't a milk. I drink milk, yeah, 100%.
Nope.
Yeah, when I was a kid, yeah,
No.
I drank milk 100%. But
It's got to have strawberry or chocolate.
but
and-
it wasn't a thing that we all had
Yeah.
a glass of milk, It wasn't, and they made sure you drank all your milk. Like that.
Now I'm
that's
gonna have
kinda
to.
how they
I'm gonna
were.
have to ask you later
I'll tell you.
who this was because I'm intrigued because it's. I
But
want to know if
it's
they
just
have
one-
healthy bones
It's one of the things I remember growing up, and then,
because it stood out from you. It was different than what your family did.
right. So if you grew up thinking that, for their case, you had a glass of milk with breakfast, plain and simple. That's just how it was.
I also want to know, were they older?
No. Then you would expect everyone.
I have a Coke Zero for breakfast.
More
so
you would
usually
expect all families,
Alani,
if you're a
but-
child growing up like that, that's what you did. You had a glass of milk. Well,
Right.
and then you understand, you start to get outside of your bubble, and you see that not everyone has a glass of milk for breakfast. With their eggs, bacon, sausage, whatever it may be.
That was a very long, drawn out way, but I agree. I think that's
No,
a good.
that is the normalization of what we know, and we understand that, and that makes sense to our psychology. What doesn't make sense is the far side of that, which is these kids. That's how they grew up. They grew up being treated like this, and that's all they knew. Now, we're not saying that in particular to this case. We don't know. We don't know those particulars, and we've said that. But what Lacey's talking about with this study is the normalization.
And remember, this study originated in 1970.
Yeah,
so
this
there's
has been
many,
around for a
there's,
while.
There's many different variations of this now. And I almost think I'm going to take one of your spots away from you.
No, go ahead.
I think I'm going to. So I'm actually giving you 3 theories tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And the first one was normalization, okay? That touched on what Amy was talking about right there. That was a key one. The second one is dependency. And I'm going to also, because I've hinted on that before, I did a little stint with Department of Child Services, right? So we spent the training that you get in that type of role, I thought was extensive. I thought not near as extensive enough. There's never enough training. I'm sorry.
Once you get into the job.
Yeah, there's never enough training.
I didn't know
because
kids were going to lick my toes
Yeah,
when I did this.
So there was a lot of things, but I thought they did a very good job. They for the time they could, the amount of turnover and the amount of people that are there, they're in. I think they did well. Anyways, they discussed this as well, and this you will see in. So these patterns resurface in other areas, and we're going to hit on that as well. So this one's dependency.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And if we think about it, so we'll take it to the youngest of the young. So we think about a newborn baby.
Mhm.
They are dependent upon their caregiver, right? So
to sustain life, yes.
right. So they need the basics, food.
But they don't understand the sustainment.
Quit interrupting.
I'm just
Interrupting
saying-
cow who? Moo.
I'm just saying they don't understand the sustenance of life is a requirement to survive.
I'm
They don't
getting
understand.
that. You won't even let me spit it out. Anyways, they need somebody that can give them food, shelter, transportation, school, medical care, all the things, right? That dependence can make asking for help or leaving more complicated. So this is a lot of times, this study has been really dug deep in terms of like intimate partner violence as well. And it ties in very well with the next theory that we're going to discuss as well. So with this, if we can't leave because so many things are dependent upon another individual, that kind of puts you in a situation where you can't leave. And again, it ties into that unknown as well. Because if we take, okay, well, I don't know that this is wrong, or I don't know it's different, or I don't know that there's help out there, why would I leave something that is stable to me for something that is not stable? So you see it's fairly well established across child development research in general, okay? So this is more so for your younger children, which is interesting how that plays into your intimate partner violence as well. So the third concept, which is very hard to discuss, and we're going to briefly touch on it, but we have to frame this very specifically and careful, and it's more in the theories of just putting the theory out there to help people understand that when they're watching news stories, instead of just thinking, I don't know how that could happen, there's studies behind it. Okay.
This is a very new theory, by the way.
So this third concept is coercive control. Okay. It's most often studied in the context of adult intimate partner relationships. There's actually a 2025 paper in the Journal of Interpersonal Violence by Casing and Collins that looks specifically at the psychological impact of coercive control on victims. And we touched a little bit on this Monday. So basically, it describes patterns of control that don't require force. Okay. So it's usually isolation, restriction, psychological pressure. So a lot of that and it plays also into like emotional. Well, where are you going to go? No one's going to help you. Mm-hmm. What are you going to do? You have no money. You have no job. You have no place to go. All of that kind of, it's...
Which falls into the dependency a little bit, but it's different.
Yes. And
researchers... It's more psychological.
Yeah. And researchers have also looked at similar patterns of control playing out in other like high control household environments, not just between adults. So it could be, your parent, or, even in some of those, like, I don't want to say high influential families, but those that make more money. In theory, there's a possibility that some of, you child stars, well, they can't handle their own money. Somebody else handles their own money. It kind of it just makes sense in my head. It makes you think deeper. So that's, we're citing it narrowly. It's not applied to this case that we have seen or we've heard, or there's nothing out there specifically tying the two, this with the case. But yes, Amy, I agree. They all can be intertwined. And I think that's what really, to me, for psychology, you can't understand the criminalistic side of things without understanding the human aspect of things. And you can't understand the law side of things until you understand all three. So for me, I feel like everything overlaps. That's why I kind of have all the layers. Maybe I'm kind of out in left field, but from the investigative side, this is exactly why cases like this take a long time to unravel. Okay. Even after the immediate danger is over, investigators and caseworkers have to build trust with the kids. And again, language is important. That was one of the things they worked on with us when we were in training. We used terms that were specific. We didn't use different names for things to try to like make it child friendly. But in terms of this, sometimes with investigations, they have to figure out how they can work with the children in the cases. So you're not always going to get a quick answer from people. So a lot of those things play, it's not a comment on the case specifically. It's just social work in general is its own thing. But I think there's some overlap among all. And I wanted to just take the time and say that the questions that you guys ask, we wanted to be able to answer them and come with an answer that made sense. And it wasn't just us saying, well, yeah, this is how that works. There are studies. If you do find that interesting, you can DM me. I can send you some of the studies that have been, because those were there pages and pages. I think they're very good, but
You could talk about that
I could talk
forever.
about psychology forever, but I will yield my time to the gentleman in the glasses. Silence.
No. Oh.
Slacking.
It's the
Did you fall
crickets.
asleep over there? This is how I put him to sleep at night. If I start talking about a case or psychology, he'll fall asleep instantly. That aren't crooked. Yeah, they're.
I don't care. It's my freaking head.
I can't.
I'm not worried about
I
that.
can't.
I'm not
Well, and
worried
it's the
about it.
headphones too.
Yeah.
Like I think it's a total package.
All right, we talked about this Vinton County case for a while.
Yeah.
And we're gonna calm down on that. But just note that the presumption of innocence is applied to all 4 defendants at this time. This is our opinion and our analysis of the public record, and also our research of what we done on the psychology behind it as well. It's not legal advice, not a determination of guilt whatsoever. So
Understanding.
we always, what, because I sent that to you? Understandable. Last night when you sent me the
Oh,
about the
I was like,
order.
no, no, my brain didn't connect that. Sorry.
Oh gosh, mine did. No, I was fishing last night, and she sends me text messages like, "Oh, the judge ordered a gag order on the prosecution and anyone involved in the case."
Yes, those are the text messages that we have with
While
each other.
I'm out on a lake trying to enjoy my time fishing,
I was enjoying my time.
You were researching. So
Anywho,
we are
saying.
moving on to.
I gotta take a break.
I know.
So did you do the? If you're catching us mid-show, I
Yeah.
guess we're calling this midway point. So we are live Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9:00.
We're past.
Eastern.
We're past the midway point. I don't think this next segment will take very much time.
No, I don't either. But
Yeah.
I, TikTok, YouTube, those are where the live is. We're working on YouTube, cleaning it up.
Yeah.
If you are just catching us now, coming in 3/4 of the way done,
Yeah.
we will have the full live pushed out soon. And again, I do want to say though, I will say I share a lot of things. Like I share a lot of graphics and things like that. If you find any of them interesting, or if you think that there is anyone out there in this great wide world that could benefit from joining us in our discussions,
Yeah.
please share, please like those, please push that out to people, because right now TikTok is not our friend when it comes to the algorithm game,
No.
and YouTube either. I think one of our videos has 20 views.
Yeah.
So not great. So I mean, just saying, if you enjoy this and you think that you know somebody, hey, they might find that interesting, I would love all of that. Just because I know for me personally, I spend a lot of time putting this together. I could just get out here and talk.
Matt is waiting for us to talk about this. next
I know
segment.
Matt's ready for this one. Go ahead.
No, it's on you.
No,
You started off.
I've talked so much.
Yeah. Start us off, and then I'll pick you up.
You're gonna pick me up.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, sorry. Here we go. A new Kentucky law changes who can legally carry a concealed weapon, including 18 to 20-year-olds for the first time. House Bill 312, or 312, creates a provisional concealed carry license for that age group, the first time Kentucky has had any pathway for it, effective July 15th of 2016. Governor Andy Beshear vetoed the bill, citing the state's alcohol and tobacco age limits and federal handgun purchase age law. The legislature overrode that veto 28-9.
Now, here's what the law actually does. House Bill 312 allows Kentuckians 18 to 20 to apply for a provisional concealed carry license, requiring firearm safety training and the same background checks as an adult applicant. That provisional license is valid only inside Kentucky's borders, unlike the standard adult license, which carries reciprocity in a lot of other states. And it automatically expires the day the holder turns 21, at which point they have the ability to apply to convert it to a standard adult license.
And here's the actual comparison, okay? So this is the legal, the interesting legal mechanics part. Kentucky is a permitless carry state for ages 21 and up. But before this law, there was zero legal mechanism for an 18 to 20-year-old to carry concealed at all. Right. This law builds a license pathway where none existed. Yeah. So Indiana, by contrast, has been permitless carry starting at age 18 since 2022. That's Indiana's code 35-47-2-3A.
Which I'm going to interject real quick because I'm still pissed off at the state of Indiana that the fact that
do you have that lifetime card?
Purchased our lifetime carry permit in 2020 or 2021. I can't remember. It's around that time. And then
COVID.
A year later, Indiana says, oh, well, you don't need a permit to carry anymore. Pissed. All right. 100% pissed.
We're going to come back to that, Amy, because that is, I knew this why.
Ooh, I got a good one for Amy.
This is why I was hesitant to bring this case out or this topic out, because I knew where the questions were going to go.
We're going to get into it.
And for Amy in particular, if we look at a lot that just went into effect for Indiana specifically, which we may cover, we've just pushed out where kids can have no electronic devices at all. So no smartwatches, no AirPods, no cell phones. There's a lot of change happening. And that's bell to bell. So from morning to the afternoon, close of day.
So Matt, with the provisional permit for the state of Kentucky, which because Indiana doesn't have that, Indiana is actually 16 and up that you can carry.
And I'm going to start this one paragraph over because Nick cut me off.
I cut you off. I know, because Matt asked. I had a viewer
I know, and we're
going
to circle back to Amy's question too. We're gonna
oh yes, Amy, we're going to talk about that. But
we could let it slip though, because we don't need to let Nick really go down the rabbit hole.
I can talk your ear off about this. No, Matt. So the provisional for the
you ate my mint.
You have another one. The state of Kentucky. What that entails is basically the same. Oh, Mad Bark's here. I'm assuming this is open carry or conceal. I can wait till Lacey's okay. All right.
Okay.
So, but first, Matt, provisional permit, same as an carrying as an adult. Exact same.
Within that window, because at 21, it has to shift over. 18
to 20 years old. Once you turn 21, you don't need the permit anymore because the state of Kentucky doesn't require
light bulb.
What would you just?
You know what?
What?
I don't even know if I want to say it on air, but I had a thought. So why do you think? What would be a benefit of a certain bracket of? Stop smiling, because you know where this is going.
It's so stupid.
What would be a potential benefit
to knowing that an 18 to 20-year-old has a firearm
and who it is? And
the local government.
I'm just saying that's a very interesting take, because before there was no way to technically track that down.
Actually,
now we can more easily.
There was. The ATF. You have to fill out the form to purchase certain types of firearms. Anything with a pistol.
But there's always a way around that.
Well, yeah, if you
get it from a family member.
Yeah, but then
look at some of the most common cases that we've seen lately.
None of that's tracked anyway. None of that's tracked anyway in any state. You see what I'm saying? They're trying to.
So what did we do?
They created a way to track it.
Yeah. Okay, we're going back to what I was actually saying.
And it also gives gun manufacturers another demographic and another section of
money
to underdeveloped brains.
That's a thing for another day. We'll discuss the underdeveloped brain later at another day.
It's scientifically proven. So
that your frontal lobe, sir. Anyways, so Indiana, by contrast, has been permitless carry starting at age 18 since 2022. That's Indiana Code 35-47-2-3A. from Public Law 175/2022. Under that statute, anyone at least 18 years old who isn't otherwise prohibited under state or federal law doesn't need a license or permit to carry a handgun in Indiana at all.
Right.
So this isn't really which state is stricter on age. It's a difference of like the mechanism specifically. So Kentucky just built training and licensing for young adults where there was nothing before. Indiana never required a license for that age group in the first place. Same practical outcome on the surface, completely different legal framework, one river apart.
Yep, right across the river.
And what's huge is that Interstate 65 just makes that river very small. So the people going in and out, in and out, in and out between those two states is huge. So,
but understand that the 18 to 20-year-olds in Kentucky who do get those permits, they are allowed to carry a firearm in the state of Indiana. Yes, they are not a resident, but our Indiana laws from 2022 allowed them. I understand that Kentucky said that our 18 to 20 permit is not transferable outside of the state. However, if that state doesn't require, if the age is 18 and up, like Indiana, it doesn't matter. That's how you have to look at it.
who's looking at it that way?
Law enforcement, the legal system.
Really?
Yes.
That was a big soapbox to stand on, sir. I'm gonna hold you to that.
Fine. But
So-
that is the legal way that is being put.
Oh, I understand. I'm just saying there was a good comment there.
Oh, by Maddie?
The rule followers.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just gonna put that out there. So, anyways, it's just legal mechanics. It's not a Second Amendment policy debate. I'm sure at some point that will probably happen on this show. It's probably gonna happen.
And Matt, open carry, you're saying it's never been an issue anywhere you've lived. Open carry is a little more
Visited. He said lived or visited.
Right. It's a little more liberal than the concealed carry. Concealed carry, there are a lot of states that require a permit to concealed carry. You can open carry pretty much anywhere.
There's just a lot going on right now, and
it's so ridiculous. What reality do these people live in? And that's why we do this. It's because I don't understand. I don't want that reality for my children. Am I keeping them from something? I don't know.
We've gotten into such a world, like our society, it's very much not my problem, doesn't affect me, not my business, moving on.
Oh, I'll just shoot him and he'll respawn. Or I'll just drive my car into a building with two of my friends in it and everything will reset.
That is not, we're not going down that case either. Hello, Autumn.
Hello.
I don't think that's, we do have a varying opinion on that, I will say, because
Yes.
I don't think that we see eye to eye on that case. We're not going to talk about it. But I will say, we are reaching the point in the episode where we're kind of getting, I'm like to call this like the Q&A or suggestion time. So if there's
give us something to throw in
is
next
there
episode.
a case here or something, a news headline there's confusion about, or anything that anybody again within the
What's burning on your mind that you don't have the time to dig into and want us to? And we'll talk about it. Because we have the time. That's right. We have the time. We will make the time. Even with our boating and my fitness.
We're going to get Starlink.
My fitness venture, Lacey's podcast, our podcast, her law school.
Yes.
Oh, Autumn. She's got something.
I have, and I debated on whether I was going to discuss it
So is this the Indiana guy that they're offering like $6,000 for?
It's a deep.
I've seen posters.
You've seen.
Amy said 7,000. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay, so listen, true story. Okay.
So stop. I saw this on my social media scrolls.
You saw this? I'm so proud of you.
I did. I've seen it the past 2 days, and here I am thinking to myself, man, I'm gonna go up to Lacey and I'm gonna be like, let's be tracker, find this dude.
Okay.
In my head,
So-
I'm talking about that, and I'm like, man, $7,000, not worth it. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
true story.
I'm sorry.
When
No,
this whole thing started,
I'm sorry that this person is missing and he has loved ones.
we are gonna.
I truly am. I truly am. But I always thought that the tracker thing was a pipe dream, finding missing persons. Sorry, a rewardist, if you will.
I'm gonna.
But I did see it in my scrolls, and I thought in my head, oh man.
So my dream job.
Yes.
My dream job
Is
was
this.
They literally CBS stole my thunder, okay? Because
You had thought about this years prior.
Years. I was like, I'm gonna live in an
RV.
and I'm just gonna drive around the country
And find people.
and I'm just going to. That's gonna be my job is to find people. And then they make this show, and we watch the show, and I'm like, he's living my dream.
That is exactly. Lacey had been talking about that for years prior to this show coming out. And now there may have been other things out there that we just didn't know about that were similar.
I'm sure it's a thing that exists, but that was like always this thing. It was like
they
I'm
created
going
a
to,
show.
So
That
this
was
is
like
how
exactly
long.
what we were talking
Yeah,
about.
and it was Maura Murray.
That's right.
That's when all of this started stemming for me.
Gosh, that was in the early 10s. What was that? 2012? I can't remember.
Julie, bless her heart, still goes and does all the things I've had. She posted a thing that I saw the other day, but one day maybe, I think I have yet to talk about Maura in any capacity on any of my podcasts or pages or anything. But anyways, yes, that was my thing, is that I wanted to find people. And I would say, babe, this is up to 10,000. This is up to, what is the magic number where we can quit our jobs and live in a trailer and find people? And 7,000 was not it, sadly.
That sounds terrible.
It does, but not. I don't even think that.
But honestly, look at it for yourselves. Are you gonna quit everything you're doing right now?
Could you?
Yes.
Could you?
Could you stop doing
But
everything
then
you're
that's
doing right
where
now?
my mind goes to even worse. It's like, how much is a life worth?
I understand that, but it's just what they can come up with.
I will say
those that want to find this individual.
I think if I go missing,
Yeah, no. Sorry.
we don't have any money. So I don't know that there would be a reward. Would
I
someone come
feel
find me?
like-
Because,
I feel like I have the knowledge and wherewithal to find you.
well, yeah, but I'm not counting that. I'm just saying, if you
Yeah,
could-
some people don't.
like, I just feel like I always ask that question. It's like, I think that it's really hard because people, your life, like what you mean to people, there's no amount of money
No.
to bring
to bring you
that
home.
person back or to find closure or to get help. And what's sad is that a lot of times, which maybe I need somebody to keep track of these ideas. Maybe we discuss, like, I can discuss Indiana. I'm not doing all of the states. It's way too much. But like in the state of Indiana, when we discuss missing persons and the age variances of it, because like, for instance, if Nick went in tomorrow to file a missing person report on me, he would not necessarily be successful in that. Because I am of legal age to just decide, see you, bye.
It would have to be, I would have to have an incredible amount of documentation.
And reasonable suspicion of foul play.
Which, at that point...
The game is afoot.
At that point, honestly, investigators are going to be looking at you as the reason that that person is missing.
But anywho, just saying...
Yeah.
There's a lot. There's a lot. I do want to talk about that case, but I have not gone down. I see all of the stuff. The brother, if I'm understanding correctly, I don't want to misspeak this, but I'm pretty sure it's the brother that is like heading all of this up. And I've watched it. There's so many cases that I'm like following, and I would love to do more, but it becomes the point where there's been some situations.
Brian more than Tim. There's two brothers. That's what Amy's following up with it.
Yeah.
So she's come. Thank you, Amy.
I've had some people reach out to me about some things, and some things it's not always easy to just say, yes, I will do this, because then once you start digging into stuff, you're like, ooh, wait a minute.
Yeah, and because she has the professional side of it, she wants to be able to create a contract and make money from doing these things.
And that sounds very, very bad.
No, it's not. People need these services. They ask and request these services, just like they go and buy a donut at Dunkin' Donuts. That's a service being provided. You know,
I had Dunkin' yesterday.
You don't have the ability, or you don't want to make yourself a donut. Therefore, you go and buy it. Private investigation is the same exact concept. You don't want to look into the information, or you don't feel like you have the ability to do it as well as someone who is a professional, like a donut maker. I'm not. All right, don't take this the wrong way.
Donut maker.
I am not trying to put my wife as a private investigator on the level of a donut maker. I am making an analogy. Please. Same concept.
I get what you mean.
You're a professional, and people would seek out that professional assistance, and that has a cost.
I agree. I love donuts are life.
Yeah, she has a bag of Dunkin' Donuts. I come home, or I wake up after my little bit of a nap after I got home from fishing, and I see a Joe bag of donuts. That's a military term. Matt knows what I'm talking about. A Joe bag of donuts sitting on the counter, and I'm like, are you serious? And here I am thinking, I gotta do a workout.
See, I think that sounds like a perfect plan. Just leave me alone with my computer and my donuts.
I was fishing with a 17-year-old kid who is like,
who's texting me, by the way.
You've seen those videos on social media where it's, hi, I'm Lacey. I do the boom. Hi, I'm Nick. I'm the dad, and I gotta load the boat up. Hi, I'm Lacey, and I'm Nick. I gotta cook the food. Boom. I'm Lacey, and I'm Nick, and I gotta unload the boat off the trailer.
I am the passenger princess.
You all have seen those videos, yes. I'll leave it at that.
And I have created duplicates of myself.
Is that? So when it's time to load up the truck with all the gear, here I am holding armfuls of poles and tackle and this and that.
Did he bring his Coke though? That probably not his Coke Zero beverage. Did he have that in his hand?
I brought the cooler. I got the ice at Walmart. I got the food. I got the gas.
I just show up.
He slept on the way there, and he slept the whole way home.
That one is a clone
of you, yes. So
Hannah's a bit of a mix.
When we talk about where is it there? You fish, she gets donuts. I think she got the better end of the deal there. Now, I will say
you had quality time.
I had a very good time with my son, going out and doing some fishing. And that's why I can make this argument and be okay with it. Because I still got my time out of it.
That's right. Mm-hmm. And I got my time with my donuts.
1,566 pages of court documents that you reviewed last night.
I sure did. And I'm super excited about Friday's episode. First of all, because it's Friday. Our viewership is phenomenal on Fridays. And I'm also running all of the data. So I am a very data research heavy person. So I am constantly crunching the numbers like Chip.
Maddie,
running the numbers.
You're absolutely right. Professions are necessary. Both of those professions. Professional donut makers and
if I could make
investigators
a donut, I would make a donut.
Are necessary for
Here's
society.
The thing that I will tell you. I am one of those people that while, yes, I agree there are a lot of professionals in the world, I don't know that I would be willing to pay certain professionals to do certain things.
What they do,
yeah, because I feel like,
and the reason we don't do that is because we specialize in them, and we feel that we can do it to a level that they can't.
Right.
Yes.
And that sounds very,
No.
very, very
Nope, not at
like
all.
egotistical.
No,
it's not
it's
that
not.
way.
It's
just
not.
my level of like detail versus another person, and it's just
like saying
because
I
it
won't-
matters to me the most.
I
So
won't- I won't pay to go and have my truck get an oil change because I can do that. There are professionals. There are professionals that change oil, and they're needed.
I will pay
Absolutely.
high dollar for an oil change.
Yeah, I won't, because and that's the simplest terms. What it comes down to is
Is what you're willing to pay for. I mean, and I get that
and
that
what
sounds
you
really bad.
what you think in your mind and the education that you have. That's why the more educated you are, the less things cost, typically, because you are able to do those functions and not have to pay for it.
But I feel like in this situation with this, what's so hard is that you take somebody. So I mean, everybody right now,
Obviously, there's an emotional aspect. that comes
right,
into
and that's
this.
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying is that in terms of this, it's like you can't put a number on things. And what's so
No.
sad with this profession and this kind of thing with
You have
missing
to
people.
put a number on it.
But what I'm saying is that to get, so to speak, those higher end professionals that are, gonna do the in-depth, that money is up here.
Yep, it's just like an attorney.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of get what you get, and it's like, so I feel like there's got to be a way. Again, that's kind of how I wanted to make my living for a time, but at the same time, like, there's got to be something, because what's so horrible about professional or private investigators is every time you say that, people are like, oh, you find cheating spouses. No.
I will say this, and I know you're going to argue with me, but that's fine because that's what we do. We've been together for 22 years. Put it on the level of goods, not services, but goods. A Louis Vuitton bag that's real, authentic.
You get what you pay for.
It's only worth
Okay, Dad.
what people are willing to pay.
I'm willing to pay high dollar
That's
if
what
it
it comes
means
down
that
to.
it's going to have quality. It's going to withhold, stand up to the test of time.
What value does it have to you? Not only everyone else. That is why things
You could
cost
sell a
what they are.
turd to someone, and someone might buy it if they thought that it was maybe had corn in it or something. I don't.
Why does this family, why does the money family with almost every conversation have to talk about shit? I don't understand it.
It's natural. Everybody poos. Like, I don't understand. I don't know why.
This is why you came to this live tonight, right here. No,
I just
okay. We're talking about same with.
I don't understand, because here's the thing.
It's a natural thing,
exactly.
and it's gross,
Everybody
but
does
we want to
it.
not make it gross.
No, everybody does it. That is
Okay.
natural. Everybody poos.
Absolutely.
Okay, and so
Don't tell Robbie that.
I know Robbie doesn't believe that,
Women don't poo.
but I just
All right. No. Before we close this out tonight, we covered a couple topics that had to deal with some constitutional rights stuff. We had to talk about, who really makes the laws when it comes down to it.
that's really more in depth than you thought. Like there's informal and formal rulemaking, and we're not
Yes.
going to go down that road because
We covered, the Vinton County in
Yeah.
Ohio.
Yep.
That one's going to be ongoing for a while.
Yeah.
However, records are going to be limited because of the order that was just signed by.
Again, I think that
the
you're going to
judge.
continue to see more and more of that. Like
Yeah, and you're going to watch
because
podcasters are going to start jumping on this. True crime is going to start jumping on this. But you heard it here first. We've started covering this from the very beginning, and we will
but
continue.
it's not even that for me. Like okay.
No, I know. We just want to keep it in the know and keep.
I
the
just
people
don't
informed.
like the sensationalism that comes with the majority of it. And in the true crime space, that is a big thing. It's
Yep.
I have to be the first to do this. And that's not my thing. I
No.
want it to be
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't want the opinion. We want it to be right.
I mean, you can have my opinion. I'll give you my opinion, but
we want it to be right in the justice system, in the eyes of justice, not just what we think should have happened.
yes.
But obviously, we think there is a certain way things should have happened. And if you go back to the Casewalker Chronicles episode or season 1, you will
You got to start at the very beginning.
Start at the beginning. You will see the way you will start to hear when you formulate things of, okay, well, that didn't happen this way. Probably should have happened this way. If you're thinking that you're going down the right path. If you're not thinking that, this may not be your thing, and that's completely okay. We have nothing against you.
It's different.
It's just the way we interpret the law, the way we interpret criminal investigations, and the way we interpret the record. And that all comes from our background that we have as a private investigator and a law student and a formal federal agent who dealt with felony level criminal investigations. That's just coming from us, and the particulars, just to hit on it again, our opinion, our analysis, not legal advice. So when we say that, we mean it, because we are coming from our knowledge, just like you come from your knowledge when it comes to the way you think about how things should go. All we are here to do is to provide an avenue and entertainment,
I think,
for individuals.
And it's deeper than that, because we both have spent a considerable amount of time in the education space. I am one of those people,
I like
again,
to forget about
I understand that, but I am one of those people that genuinely loves learning and education in what it means. Like, you're constantly evolving and learning, and I feel like you can never have enough knowledge. Although I will say, the thing my dad always told me was, education, knowledge is the one thing that no one could ever take away from you unless you have like a lobotomy. But he didn't put that part in.
They stopped doing that many years ago.
There are TV shows where they still do it. But anyway,
No.
Yes, there are. They're not real TV shows, or they're dated back in the day. But I'm just saying, I feel like, anyways, what I'm saying is that's something that you have that no one can ever take away from you. Right. So I'm constantly learning, and I love to do that. I enjoy, like, the records, reading the records, learning all about the law. All of those things are interesting to me, and I could talk about them forever. But what I'm trying to do is help people understand, because a lot of times what we see in our quick news, our 10 o'clock nightly news, it is these snippets, and people just kind of take that and run with it. They don't ask themselves, well, what is the actual case behind this? Because
Right.
what happens a lot of times is the news is reporting this, but it's not necessarily giving key facts. If that makes any sense. I'm not saying that news is wrong. I'm just saying the way in which, and we live in this, like, everything, all my data keeps telling me for my clips, I need to get quicker. They need to be shorter.
Yeah.
How do you fit an hour and a half?
And again, that's an opinion of what it feels, what the algorithm, and honestly, all of these big companies like that, they're using AI to put this information out there where, okay, you need this and you need this and you need this, and this is what grabs people's attention, and this.
Because everybody just sits here and goes.
But
whoop,
that's
whoop,
not
whoop,
that's
whoop,
not
whoop,
who
whoop,
we are trying to.
I understand, but that's why I keep telling people.
That's not our demographic. We don't want the.
But everyone needs the
scrollers.
knowledge.
I know they do. I just need you to understand that those aren't the demographic that we really want.
I understand that, yes, and I know that everybody is going to start coming at me.
Nope.
From
No,
all
they're
ways,
not.
shapes, and forms. And that's fine. It
Yes,
is what it
the
is.
instant dopamine hits.
It's
Yes.
for me, it's literally
That's not
about
what we're here
helping people understand, because I've had, those are the things that I will spend.
We see the injustices.
Yeah. And I just think there should be fairness. Like, I think that's a lot of times my biggest thing is,
Yeah.
if this was me, or if this was my
is
child, or
gone.
if this was my spouse, or if this was, how would this, what would I want?
Mhm.
And I'm constantly thinking about that when I read a news story, and it's really hard to do, like, podcasting and live streams and do some things, because I know what things get attention. But it's like, I don't want to do that because you're
Yeah.
So that's what we're not trying to do, okay? We're trying to
I know it kind of seems like it with all the Instagram and
but it's
TikTok
not. It's
posts
because
and
like
stuff.
I literally
because
have maybe
we
2 or
want-
3 people to see it, and it's like I really want. See, that's the whole thing. I just want people to look at things from different
Thank you, Amy.
views because
It means a lot.
there's 2 sides, 3 sides, 4 sides, 5 sides, 10 sides to every story, and a lot of times, like, you know, with some of those documentaries that come out, it's one-sided, and that's what people put out into the world, and they don't stop to think, wait, what's the real story, or what am I not seeing? So that was the whole point. We wanted to be able to come to you guys and have you guys ask questions. What do you want to discuss? It's a discussion type thing. So at the end of every episode, we're going to put in this discussion segment.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's something that you see that you want us to discuss, or what's our opinion on it, we'll gladly talk about it.
Yep. The deeper dives.
Yeah.
What do you want us to deep dive into?
And I am still kind of sort of technically working on season 2 of the Casewalker Chronicles, the actual podcast. But again, I am going back to school. I'm in school for my master's, and we're doing this every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 9 p.m. on TikTok and YouTube. Follow, like, subscribe, share, all the things.
Yep. And I'm doing the get out and lift
and he's
shit,
doing a fitness, so
We got
he's
the
going
summer
live
shred
pretty much
going
every
on.
day on that.
Yep. Still trying to make time for our family, and
we're doing a lot.
but
so,
it feels like this is what we are
yes,
meant to do.
yeah,
That's why we are doing it.
So we want to continue doing it. We need your help.
Yes.
That's
Please
why
support.
we're putting the outreach out there. If you like interacting and having these lives,
Yes. And if you don't want to miss Friday, hit the follow right here.
And with that,
Send it to your friends.
I will give you your teaser for
Oh,
Friday.
gosh.
If we have the chat that wants to know what Friday is going to be about, give me some of those taps, and we will give you our teaser for Friday.
Come on, we are at 8,500 likes.
Yeah.
I want everyone in here to share, like the crap out of this. We're gonna
Thank
get
you,
to.
Mad Bark.
We're gonna try to get to 10,000. If we don't, that's okay. But what do you think we are gonna be talking about on Friday?
This should be easy. If you've been on any of this week's lives already, I think I've teased at this one. And I teased it maybe a little too hard at the beginning of tonight's live. Anybody in the YouTube chat know what that?
I think was that Diane in the
yeah.
YouTube chat.
Anybody got any ideas on what Friday's going to be?
Is it? Is it?
You're close.
Oh.
You're close. I'll give you the. You're like one letter off.
It was probably.
Oh, Matt knows us too well. That one backstory before I go into that. Does anybody want to know how we came up with the name the Casewalker Chronicles? Anybody know that one? Do you want to hear the story?
If you've listened to our podcast, season 1.
No, the true story for that. So we've known this for a while. I am a missing person huge advocate. So, and also with the knowledge, the education, all those things, I don't take what people say at face value. I have to look at things from all the different sides. So one of the first cases that got a lot of attention for me was Lauren Spear. And so I asked Nick one night if we could go to Bloomington. And I didn't tell him why. I just said, hey, you want to go like out to dinner in Bloomington? Maybe go to a bar or something, hang out? Sure, yeah, let's go. So we get in the car and we're driving over there. And I'm like, hey, can you go to this bar?
Why?
I don't know. I just wanted to check it out. But can we park here and then
Not go in?
not go in? I want to walk from here to there. It was probably, I think, after like the third specific location, he was like, "What are we doing?"
I thought it was like
"Hey."
I was down for a scavenger hunt.
Yeah,
you
I was
know?
like, "Do you remember me talking about this case?" And he said, "Yes." And I said, "Okay, well, we're retracing the steps." So then that became more of a thing that we started doing on our dates. Sadly, in a weird way.
So morbid.
We went to Delphi.
To retrace the last steps that people
We
took.
went to Bardstown numerous times. So then it became a really in-depth process where I would literally build the timeline, where specific locations were, where are security cameras at along that route, what all the different, I built these specific whole things.
So that is where the name
So the name Casewalker
is.
it came from. We would literally walk the case, and from the victim's standpoint.
Yes.
Um,
Geocaching for timelines and cases.
100%. That's what it was. And then I would go. I mean, I would take as we were going on these dates, I would literally take my book.
We would verify the record to see if it really would take that long.
100%. So I said, according to the court record, it says that it takes X amount of time to get from here to here.
So we'd walk it.
We did the same thing. And that is where Casewalker Chronicles came from. It was our Casewalker method that people wanted to hear about. So we made it into a podcast, and then that created the Monday, Wednesday, Friday live discussions that we are doing now. So literally it was because I think investigations need that
date night
second set of eyes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
And that's what we did.
We would do that for a lot of cases. And then when people started suggesting other cases, I was like, well, I can't really do that because that's not in the state I live in.
We did though.
We did. We've done cases outside of the state. But again, that was where that all came from.
So you still haven't answered or given them the teaser yet.
I'm getting ready. If you guys are ready, if you can handle it, no more.
Look, you guys, we've got what 9,954
Yeah, we have
likes.
9,954 likes. I got to get to 10.
She can see that number. She can see it. I'm telling you right now,
baby.
she's waiting.
Almost there. Oh, we're getting closer.
69.
Getting closer. I'll go ahead and start, and by the time I finish, you guys better be at 10K.
Oh my gosh, we're gonna hang on. Boom, there's 10K.
There's
right
10.
there.
All right, so Friday, a new 2-part documentary is dropping that claims to have new evidence in one of the most talked about murder cases in American history, Scott Peterson. We are not reviewing the documentary.
No.
We're telling you what's actually sitting in the court record versus what's in the film, including the actual ruling from the judge who already rejected most of these claims back in April. And when I say that I pulled the record, it's over 1,500 pages. So we are discussing that on Friday. Same place, same time. Share away. We want your discussion in the chat. I don't know that I have put anything else in Friday's episode besides Scott Peterson.
And again, that's the teaser for Friday.
Yes.
Tell your friends. I promise you, we have the absolute determination to make this absolutely huge. The Casewalker Chronicles is going to be known worldwide. You are the very first followers.
Yes.
And
we cannot thank you guys
absolutely
enough. I mean, I know Amy, I get on Facebook and it's like she's like my first to share all my stuff.
Tell
my
your
mom's
friends,
sharing everything.
Tell your family.
Yes.
You know who we are. You're associated with us. You are friends, and you're our followers, and you're our supporters, and that these people are gonna go places.
And also, what do we think about a Casewalker Chronicles The Particulars stickers? What do we feel about merch? Because I'm down to do some merch, but I need some feedback. I need to know what you guys want. I do have Casewalker Chronicles stickers, but everybody knows I love stickers. I have stickers.
This is the only tumbler that I will not put a sticker on because
that's his only. Is that Stanley?
No, it's Camelback.
Oh, same thing.
I got this from my brother, and my dad and him have matching ones. And this is the only tumbler that I think I own that does not get stickers on it. Everything else has stickers, but
Literally stickers.
things that
everywhere.
I buy, I just cover them in stickers because I don't care. But because it came
love
from my
stickers.
brother and it was a Christmas gift, there's no stickers on this. So I'm not repping.
Matt's family, they've got stickers on everything. They're a sticker
Yeah,
family.
I know. But I will say that we love stickers too.
I can't say this is my only water bottle
Yes.
that doesn't have stickers on it.
They
There's
all because what is that? No, that's not
none.
one of the.
No, this was just my regular.
Yeah,
I wanted it to be classy.
she has 100 of the.
I struggle to be classy.
She's
so
got
I
a whole
wanted
box
something-
full of those
Dangly
dangly
ones.
ones.
Anybody know that movie?
Of course, everybody knows that
I don't know.
movie.
I don't
Come
know.
on. If you don't know that movie, you just need to get out of the chat.
Whatever. Anyways, we have loved spending our Wednesday night with you, and we hope that you have
Absolutely.
enjoyed your night as
He
well.
said, say it again. She's got a whole shoebox full of those dangly ones. Come on, everybody knows that. Or maybe we're just weird. We're very weird.
We
I
quote a
guess.
lot of movies.
Yes.
Like that's our vocabulary. That's
Absolutely.
pretty much all we do is quote movies. And I will say that I don't have a whole shoebox full of them.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
have one pair that I never change.
Yeah.
But I digress.
It's there, but
It's
can't
there.
name it.
It's
Yep.
there.
It's there. Don't worry.
I might have to
If
send you some more
we
stickers.
say it,
Mad Bark, remind me you want a sticker. I'll figure out how to. Maybe if you DM me or something, because we went to CrimeCon. I bought a ton of stickers, so I do have stickers. I would just need like an address or something, and I could send you stickers. But anybody else that wants a sticker, reach out. Like I said, I made a huge order for CrimeCon.
I'll be up, Matt. Don't worry. That chronic insomnia will pull through for you. Amy just got it.
Yep.
So
That was good. Amy gets a sticker. I am going to do a sticker chart up here, maybe gold stars. Start taking attendance. Who's been to everyone this week? You get a sticker.
or maybe we should start referring to Amy as user
I can't. That's a lot of numbers.
910-837-2027 because maybe she doesn't want everyone on
Maybe.
TikTok
Well,
to know her
I'm not-
name.
It's too late. She
Yeah.
already knows me.
Sorry. If you're our friends, we're gonna call you out.
Oh, okay. You got to miss. All right. I will let it pass. I will let it slide this one time. But from then
You all
on,
have-
you
hold
need
on.
perfect attendance.
Matt, did you guys get that much rain down there in shirts? I haven't been checking up the weather down there.
Ugh. Why is that?
Gosh. So it was last.
It was
remember?
last 4th of July.
Yeah.
It was last 4th of July.
Yeah, when all those kids died.
Camp Mystic.
Yeah. God, what is it? What is it with that area?
Nick also does not have a very good memory.
No, I remember.
But I'm like an elephant.
I remembered last year we were there.
And that
That's
I remember. I
crazy.
don't know where that came from. That's from a movie, by the way. But anyway.
West of you. Okay, yeah, it was northwest of you last time. I mean, well, it was really close to you guys.
Y'all
but
don't normally get rain, though.
Fredericksburg area. Yeah.
Was that a
and just-
winery or whatever?
No, we went to the museum, the Air Force Museum up there, or the military
Hey,
museum.
guess what? Your glasses are crooked again.
There, I made a funny face so everybody can clip it because
Yeah,
Lacey made.
so Monday night's episode, this genius, we have this little intro
Oh, God.
clip art thing.
I didn't tell her we were live.
No,
I
he
didn't
didn't
have
tell
the
me. So
clip
I'm
up.
sitting here. If you want to watch it, if you go check
Yeah, it
out
was
the
for
live
Bill.
on YouTube, the whole beginning of the video, because I don't know that we're recording, I'm sitting here going, making, and it's now out there for the world to see. So
Oh, gotta
you're
love it.
welcome, world. And with that, this has been
The Casewalker Chronicles.
The Particulars. We're live Monday, Wednesday, Friday night, 9 p.m., TikTok and YouTube. Be sure to tell your friends. We hope to see you Friday at 9. You guys have a good night.
Headlines in.
Details begin.
We'll see you Friday night.
Bye, guys.